to our another edition of our webinar called the Sandquick Online Clinic Series. My name is Andy Han. I'm the Customer Experience Manager at Sandquick. Now, I think I'm very glad to see quite a lot of you have joined us, and I think, let's see, I'm gonna allow you all to be able to chat with us. So do let us know if you can hear us loud and clear. Okay, and let us know where you are. Okay, in case you're from the other part of the world, it could be good morning to you. But nevertheless, welcome everyone to this edition of our online clinic. We are going to touch on this topic called all your conversations in one platform. What do we mean by that? So, for example, in Singapore, Malaysia, we are quite familiar with WhatsApp, but in some other countries, that is not their preferred application for messaging. So if you want to have to message them separately, you may need to have a WeChat app, or maybe a Line app, or maybe another Telegram or Viber to be open differently to be able to connect with them. But what if there is a platform to actually unify all this, and you can use one place to talk to each of your customers depending on what platform they reach you by, and as well as having it multi-agent where you can actually assign the conversations to different people. I'm going to introduce our speaker today, which is my good friend, Ms. Jasmine Lim, a Business Development Manager at Sandquick. Again, she is very popular. We always see her talk a lot because she's got a lot of things to tell us. And this time we have something very new, and she's going to be excited to share with us. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over the time to her. Let me stop sharing.
Hi, thanks, Andy. Okay, just give me a minute. Let me do my sharing of the screen. I think thanks for the introduction. Yeah, I have a lot of things to share. Okay, so for this time around, right? I think before talking about having all the different apps on a single platform for you to manage your conversations, I think on how you can transform your customer communication and engagements with businesses. I think first of all we need to understand how the social media landscape, probably we look at Singapore as a context for discussion. So I think if you take a look at the slide here, you will realize that actually, interestingly, Singapore is actually ranked 10 globally in the social media adoption in relative to the total population here. And in fact, actually about 85% of the nation's population has actually a social media identity here. And out of which, about 88.6 of the internet users here are actually having more than just one social media platform. So actually this resonates because for us, if I recall, I definitely do have, a lot more, not just Facebook. I have, WhatsApp, I have blah, blah, blah. So I think it speaks well. And in fact, actually, to look further in, it also says that in Singapore, actually Singaporeans are spending about 2 hours plus per day on social media across an average of about close to 7 social media platforms every month. So pretty much resonates with, I believe, the users here. So I think the next steps that we are going to look at is that, just a minute, okay. So when you actually zoom in to look into the types and the types of applications that we use, chat and messaging apps actually takes the lead. It is about 97.5% of the penetration here. And actually, what does it really say? So it actually shows the very strong indication that actually the very instant or very direct mode of communication is actually the key preferences for the people here. So then, so I think probably before I step into, this slide, probably we can just do a short polling to see whether is it, really speaks whatever that it is in the Singapore context here. So social media platform, question 1. There's only one question, by the way. So which social messaging platform do you frequently use to communicate with colleagues or businesses?
I think based on the poll results, we can roughly tell that
it speaks very much closely to what is the statistics given to us. In fact, actually, if you look here, right, among the top social media platforms, actually 2 pure messaging apps stands out. So they are actually WhatsApp and Telegram. So I think from the poll just now, which is very true, WhatsApp is the number one app that we are using here. So over here in the stats provided, WhatsApp constitutes about 74.7% and Telegram about 47.8%. Yeah, so I think if you look at those integrated platforms, that is actually basically combining those social media with messaging capabilities, you can see that it's also quite highly popular as well. So from all these stats, you can tell that actually messaging apps dominate the communication preferences lah, here. So yeah. Okay, so I think, considering the different types of apps used, how long we how many identities we have, I think let's now look at the time spent on these apps itself. So if you look on average, WhatsApp users here actually clock about 16 hours on a monthly basis, and Telegram users spends about nearly about 5 hours every month. So actually, this actually presents a tremendous opportunities for businesses here to really leverage on all these platforms to engage with your customers so that you can actually really meet them where they are already spending quite a significant number of time here. Yeah. So I think, after sharing a few slides of stats, but what do they actually really mean to you? I think first thing, we will be very clear that WhatsApp is actually the clear leader and game changer for connecting with your audience. That's first thing. And the adoption of all this omni-channel strategy, right, is quite critical to achieve a seamless customer journey and allow you to actually remain competitive and to deliver excellent customer experience. But it's actually easy said than done. In fact, actually, there are problems existingly in today's digital world context. So I think I would like to highlight two big problems here that we see. I think first of all, right, you can see that there are a lot of apps around the world. In fact, you see in Singapore context, we see WhatsApp, we see Telegram, we see Instagram, we see Facebook Messenger, etc. But these are actually apps that really work in silos. So to actually have businesses to manage the apps, right, to keep track of the different conversation across these platforms can be quite daunting and overwhelming itself. So sometimes users or rather the staff may actually miss out those important message or to forget to respond those urgent requests, for example, because they're all scattered across the different platforms. And this results in, if it's inefficiencies, such as, like your staff may need to spend more time, switching between apps and searching for the relevant information to connect back with them. I think all these inefficiencies actually leads to miscom. So having very disconnected conversations can also actually leads to miscom where your staff spend a lot of time across the platform, and sometimes it's actually quite difficult. When you are scattered here and there, you can't focus. You will see that it's a bit hard to maintain context and continuity in your conversation. So important details may be overlooked or misinterpreted, and this results to misunderstandings and errors. And with that, I think lacking of such kind of centralized communication hub will be quite challenging for businesses to actually adopt having all different channels in a single platform to manage for your clients. So I think recognizing this, we can see that one of the critical ways to actually nurture your engaged customer is to create all these kind of multiple touch points lah. But it has to be not at a big cost to businesses. And in order to do that, that is where we would like to actually introduce you guys to SendQuick ASP 2.0. So it is actually a very user-friendly omni-channel messaging and broadcast platform where it allows the businesses to communicate with customers through the various channels of their choice. So I think let's watch a short video clip to showcase, how having such a platform would actually benefit your businesses. Okay, so without further ado, let me just flip. with all this, I would like to showcase how our SendQuick ASP 2.0 will work. As I believe Andy has mentioned before, SendQuick ASP is a platform that is already existingly in use by many of our clients. But what is the difference between ASP and ASP 2.0 will be that ASP is meant for SMS only. ASP 2.0 will be all-encompassing eventually. So I think for now, we'll be focusing ASP 2.0 demo on a few keys or channels that we would like you guys to actually play around with the system live together with us. So I think that is some kind of entry points that usually we will present to our clients to test it out. So do pick up your phones. You can actually scan the QR code on the at the top for WhatsApp or WeChat. Or you can actually, type in on Telegram looking for our bot call at SendQuick at ASP2 bot, or going to your Facebook Messenger and look for us to actually test it out. So what will happen is that this is a live demo. Whatever that is actually coming in will appear your numbers on the screen. So that is something to take note. So let me actually share the screen of our portal. Okay, so this is the portal. So I believe as I was talking, I think I can see that there are people messaging in. So you can see that this is actually the chat portion. So I think, but before I go into just the chat portion itself, let me introduce you the portal, how it really works, if you were to get on board with us. So first thing, I think when you are actually the owner and the administrator of this account, you are able to actually create departments and your users for this portal. This is a single portal where you can actually have all your staff to manage the conversations and broadcast across the channels here. So I think you can take a look. So over here at the department level, you can actually create departments, and then after which it will just populate as per it is. Then after which you can then also add in your users. So of course, there are two ways of adding. One way is actually to just a minute. Yeah. So you can actually add in this way with all the different details like the name, the department, the contact number, what's the user role, and of course to turn on and off the two-factor authentication. Then after which you can then also look into setting the credits. So you can see that over here we have some users here. You can actually do a top up of certain credits and removal of certain credits from the particular user. So to know how much credits you are left with, you can see that there's this my credit balance here. So this is the part where you can see you as a user of the portal, how much you are given to actually spend on doing the broadcast or the interactions on the chat with your customers. Then as an administrator and the owner, right, you are able to see as a corporate level. That means as a company entity, right, of a single account, how much credit balance you are left with. And of course, you can do a top up as well, lah. So this is actually very much on the administrative level side to manage your users and the credits. Then of course, another administrative will be a few of this. So first of all, I think you may want to actually upload your contacts so that you can actually do a broadcast eventually, for example. So what happened is that you can actually upload your contacts here individually or actually by file up. So once you do that, you can okay. So if I take the individual one to give you a feel of the fields that you need to input, will be things like the name, the contact numbers, the email address is optional, of course, and then adding into any existing group or creating a new group for this user would be also made available. So of course, the same thing will go for you when you do a file upload method. Okay, so this is the users the context parts. Group wise, it's very straightforward. You can just create your group, so it's quite DIY in that sense. And then you can see, for example, the details of your group members. So far so good. Yeah.
There's a question whether there's a chatbot behind this ASP 2.0.
Okay. So for us, because all these are different chat apps, depends on what kind of chatbots you're referring to. If you're saying that, oh, can I have like probably configure a welcome message, and then every subsequent message there will be an incoming an auto reply. There's something at the back end that we can actually allow the users to set up. But beyond that, having a chatbot will be something that is I mean to be pulled out to a site to actually have a further discussion. But that's something that is feasible. But it's not as a standard package here.
Okay, and some people have missed the QR code. Ask whether you can still
Sure.
show the QR code again because I can't share it on the chat.
So basically, when you want to actually let your customers know how to really reach out to you via all these social channels, this is just some of the suggestions that you can actually take into consideration. So you can actually make it as a embed in the QR code of this URL so that you can actually print it out, or you can actually put it embed it on the icon and then put it on a website or on the EDM. Same for WeChat as well. Then Telegram wise, basically, people, you can just let the people know that, let your customers know that you can just look for us at this particular bot name. And then Facebook Messenger, if you have a Facebook page, and then of course it ties to a messenger, you can actually, get them to talk to you on the Facebook Messenger app as well. So of course, there are many more apps that can actually work out like a similar fashion of your entry points to your clients. So, but today I'm just highlighting this for you all to actually play around with and get a feel of it as a customer first. Then our side, we will show you the portal to see how you as a business will be able to enjoy using the features here easily to communicate with them. So I think I believe it's okay now. I would like to actually switch back to the portal. So okay, so the portal itself here. So just now I was sharing that you can actually upload your contacts. Then you can create groups. And then earlier on I shared about creating the users, and then and then allocating to the departments, and then managing the credits as a company, and as an administrator to actually do a top up or deduction of your credits for each of the users. I think just now I also forgot to mention that actually there's this low credit management. So it's like a threshold as an administrator that you can set forth so that, in the event the corporate account is of a low balance, you will be alerted so that you will know that you can actually top up. So this model that we're sharing you is actually on a prepaid model basis. So that, there's this prepaid model feature here for you to actually make full use of. So, okay, so this is the part on the administrative setup. Then I think next one, before we go on to the social messaging chat per se, we will actually look into the campaign management. So similar to how you use SMS web portal to send out, where you can actually create campaigns to actually so-called group your broadcast. The same concept goes for campaign management here on ASP 2.0. You can actually add you can just basically create the so-called the broadcast name. So for example, upcoming one, Christmas season greeting. So that can be a campaign name, for example. And once you save the changes, then you can see that, there's another campaign that is ready for use. So whatever that is used, you can see that the status is shown as sent and when was it created. If it's scheduled as a broadcast to send out, when is the scheduled date and time. So if it's actually sent, you can see some of the details here. So then you can see the outgoing report. Okay, so of course I can go further and further in, but I will not go further in for now. But at least you can have a feel that basically once you have a campaign, you can go further in and further in to see the full details. So this is actually more for the campaign usage. It ties to the broadcast portion. So, okay, I may be jumping a little bit here and there because it's kind of interlinked. So I think right now, okay, after we've covered the administrative setup, the campaign creation, now we zoom into this part on the social messaging portion. So in order to actually use the chat and the broadcast, and of course, eventually looking at the reports of the broadcast, we will need to make sure that whatever entry points that you have actually come in just now is kind of a link to this portal so that we know that, we have to handshake to this this channel to that channel of your business to be able to capture all these direct messages and present it on this portal in a single interface. So to give you an idea, right? So what will happen is that you have to let us know by connecting your channel to us. So you can see that when you connect the channel, these are just some of the lists that we can do. Of course, there will be more and more to come. So that is the perks of actually getting on board with us. So these are the things that we have, and we have an exclamation mark here to guide you through how to create the channel for your business for each of them. So our team has actually put in a lot of effort on all this to actually make this available to all our clients to be able to do a very DIY kind of onboarding of the channels. So this is actually one area. So if I were to take a look using WhatsApp, so this is actually how it look and feel. So you can use WhatsApp. This is the most popular channel here. Then you because WhatsApp is actually owned by Facebook, so you can actually do a new sign up and then linking up your Facebook to do the onboarding process. Then, of course, we can also do existing of migration of existing WABA to us. So that is also another possibility. So I think having all this said, I will not go through each of this channel, but in totality, right, after you go on board and connect the channels with us, it will show as a record here. So you can take a look. So whatever just now the entry points that I've given is actually belongs to all these 4 chats. So then you can actually then come in to say that okay, people who talk here, then we can actually answer them. So over here you can see that I have the timestamp of of Jimmy sending in at this timing. Then it is actually something that I can assign to myself, or I can assign other agents. Basically your other colleagues lah, on the same account as you. So if I were to assign myself, okay, I take over. So when I take over, I say, hello. Okay. So do let me know whether you have received the message. So when I send it over, I can even see it is actually done by me as a staff, as a user of this portal at this timestamp. Okay, good. Yeah, so it's live. This is actually one of our participants here. So I can even do this for the rest, so at least you all can have a feel of it. Okay, so you can see these are all live. So I shall, okay. At least I choose some Telegram. You realize that when I type, I have choose Telegram, WhatsApp, I'm going to choose WeChat as well. I think so far any messenger coming in. Oh, okay. Give me a minute. Yeah, so I think so far, yeah, WeChat. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thanks. Okay. Yeah. So this is to give you a feel of it. And then in fact, actually we can also, so if you take a look, so we can, if you look at the paperclip here, you can see that at whichever channel that you talk to, what are the things that are supported as a kind of file type that you can actually attach. So to make the whole conversation rich lah. So you can have visual context, having to add in an image, a video, a document, or an audio. So this can be done. Yeah. So I can actually show probably maybe a messenger. Yeah. So at least I will show you a messenger first. Okay. So at least there are a few of them. You can see that it can be done all in a single interface without having me to toggle between apps. Okay, yeah, I can see people saying receive. You can see the emoticon here as well. So it is very much like using WhatsApp web chat. But in this case, you are doing it across the channels and with accountability. You can see the timestamp, you can see who is the one that is leading the conversation for the business account. And at the same time, to the customer's point of view, they will see it as is coming from a brand itself. So you are seeing it as coming from SendQuick to you guys. So in fact, actually, I can assign this chat, to somebody else. And then whoever that is actually taking over the conversation will still be able to continue looking back at the history and then continue the conversation with the customer. Yeah. Okay, so I think this is so this is actually to give you a feel of the chat itself. So I think next thing I would like to bring your attention to would be the broadcast. So broadcast, okay, this is a powerful feature. So so in SMS context for ASP, our broadcast is just purely SMS text. So SMS text being SMS text is just text without images. But over here, when we are talking about broadcast, we are actually doing omni-channel broadcast. And in fact, we go beyond omni-channel broadcast. We can do mail merging in omni-channel broadcast, similar to how you use in SendQuick ASP using the mail merge function for sending SMS, customized SMS solution, customized SMS messages. So let me actually show you how it really works. So if I would say online webinar, okay, then I can of course I can link to a campaign if I want. If I do not want, I just leave it blank. It's okay. Then you can see that, okay, there are two types. This is actually free form message. It means that I can just freely send in and out to the people or contacts here without having to use a template. So of course, the other thing will be using a template, but a template would be required based on the app policy itself. So for example, WhatsApp. If you understand in another video session that we've done before, WhatsApp actually needs to use template for certain circumstances. So that is where it will entail a broadcast with a template message to be activated first before you can use. So this is just a background of it. So let me do some broadcast, freeform text broadcast first. So you can see that you can actually choose various channels here. So I can choose all four. Then I can try, okay, so I can try maybe two WhatsApp, maybe one WeChat, one Line, and then let me see, maybe a Telegram. Oops, yeah, correct. Okay, so I can show you all this. Then after that, I go next. Then I can type. Hello, everyone. Thanks for participating the live demo session with us. Okay. So of course you can do attachment if you want. So but today I'll just look at I can just run you through so you can actually basically do that. Of course, you can actually just have text alone or you can have both. Okay. So after which you can see that these are actually the preview page. This is actually a preview page of your broadcast. And then you can see that the number of recipients that will be receiving it, what is the broadcast content all about, and which are the channels that you can send to. Okay, so is it ready? Yes, it is ready. So I think with that, we can actually do a testing of the broadcast itself. So after you actually have crafted out and sent out the broadcast, you will auto-populate, will auto you to the report section. So you can see that over here. Yeah. So so you can see that I have the preview of the content. I have the status breakdown for all the channels. I can see that these are the recipient channels, recipients, and from whichever channel, and the delivery status. Should there be any failed status, what is the remark? Okay, so these are actually all very clear and then with the timestamp for you to actually trace back. So you can see that, these are actually all captured. So for example, red is actually from your WhatsApp, if you have actually read the message. So do probably drop a message to us on the chat to confirm, if this is really right. Yeah. So is it all correct? That means those people, I think Carl, Wu Ming, etc. Yeah. So can you all see? So do let us know whether, is this something that is already in line with whatever that is shown here as a status. Okay, so this is actually the one of the broadcast method. Of course, another method that I've mentioned earlier is to use what we call the template. So let me share with you the template broadcast method. Okay. So this time around, probably I just use, maybe I use this one. Okay, the one that I've created just now. This time around, I choose template message. In fact, actually, okay, so for WhatsApp, because WhatsApp, there's a requirement for template. In fact, actually for WhatsApp itself, for template message, we can even do a few ways of broadcast. So similar to ASP itself, where you can do what we call the manual entry broadcast, meaning to say that you choose your contacts that is found that can be found inside the contact management, and then you are sending a generic message to all the selected contacts. That's one way. Another way is, of course, you can send also a generic message to a group. And lastly, the most powerful one is you can actually upload a file and you can send personalized messages to them. So let me share with you how it looks like. Okay, I shall share the contact and the file. Contact. So I can share probably just maybe myself and my colleague and Fancy and Andy. Then I can choose things like appointment reminder. Okay, this is one of the pre-approved template that is already pre-done in the Facebook site. Then after which I can choose the language that's being used. I can actually put in the variable. So dear customer, for example, you can realize that as I type here, it will actually mail merge here. Okay, your appointment is scheduled on, maybe today is 21st November 2024 at what time? At 3:30 p.m. Okay, so then you can go next. Then you can see. Okay, so you can see the preview. Click here. It's basically the same now, but later on when you see the mail merge one, you can see the difference. Then after which you can then see that it's already sent. Okay, so once it's being sent, then you can take a look at the details here. Okay, so these are the details that is being sent out. Then of course there is another one that you can actually use where you will do a personalize of the message. Sorry, so online webinar template personalized message. Okay, so what happened is that I can do this. I select my channel again. This time around, I choose a file. So and then in our system, we can also have a choice whether do you want to remove any duplicate, because sometimes the file may have a lot of numbers. So you can by default we'll make it as a yes. Then after that, we will actually upload our file. Okay. Then after which I can go next. Then I will choose again one of the template here and the language. So this is the powerful part. So you realize that the same template I can choose to, in this case, without upload method, I can choose to create a generic message, or I can create what we call a dynamic. So if I choose all dynamic, right, this is what would happen. So dear so-and-so, I will pick it up as dear name. Your appointment is scheduled on whichever date at whichever time. Okay. Then what's going to happen next is that you can see that this is the broadcast content and these are the recipients and these are ready to send. So if I click preview, you see, dear Andy, your appointment is scheduled on the 18th November, 3:30. I haven't sent yet. Oh, I haven't sent yet. Yeah. Not on the screen. Okay. Is it? Oh, yeah. I think there's some lag here. So you can see that this is the one. Okay. So of course, you can click on the rest lah. So all this you can see, so on and so forth for every individual recipient. Then after which you can then do a broadcast. Okay. So then you can see the details. Okay, good. So this is something that you can take a look. Of course, there's some reports here that you can take a look on the timestamp, the channel, the recipient name, and then every single details of it. Okay. So in fact, actually, yeah. So actually all this can also be shown. So at least to just give you an idea. Okay. So this is actually so much about the portal demo that I would like to showcase to you all. Let me go back to my slides.
There is a question though.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The question, yeah, you can check the chat there. There's a question.
About the social broadcast, is there any risk that our WhatsApp number will be blocked by WhatsApp? It is what? It is CRM broadcast or cold call. Okay, I think this is so much about this is more on how you use the app itself. So of course, yes, you WhatsApp is just in a way like SMS. You have a number, you can broadcast out technically, but you have to adhere to the policy of the app itself. So for WhatsApp in particular, if you were to broadcast out, you need to get a consent from the WhatsApp users. So that's why when I broadcast out just now, I broadcast to my colleague. So these are all consensus that are pre-given to us. So you have to make your consensus with them, getting their consent, whether is it on a physical form or whether is it through other methods of by SMS or whatever. Keep a copy of it before you do the broadcast. Just that when you send out SMS, to your prospects, you need to clean the numbers with the relevant body. So every app you have to respect their policy as well. Yeah, but the tool is there, but for you to use, then consensus given, then you can actually continue to do that. So I hope I've answered your question. So let me continue. So having to share about the statistics and then telling you that there's this ASP 2.0 portal and then showing you a live demo of how it really works, then let me actually highlight a bit of the benefits of using ASP 2.0. So I think there are three main points. First thing is to actually having ASP 2.0 for your organization will actually help to boost your customer engagement and satisfaction. Because why? It's just a conversation, a conversation interface in the form of a standalone portal, for example, and it consolidates all the chats for all your users to manage. And in fact, actually, it is the back end is all done. So all the apps that you connect to us, there are actually pre-integrated integration effort that is already done on our end. With ever-changing API, we can still keep up to date to support so support the businesses or rather customers of ASP 2.0. And more importantly, you can actually provide omni-channel support to your customers without having you to actually manually manage the conversation, on the mobile phone, or shared by multiple staff. So this will help to improve your productivity and effectiveness. So I think also with that, right, with omni-channel support through a single portal, it will help to actually increase your customer acquisition, your engagement, and in fact, definitely, some satisfaction from your customers because you also empower them to reach out to you via their most preferred channel. So they feel comfortable about it as well. And this is actually definitely a cost-effective way to do a turnaround of your customer support. And I think secondly, right, it also helps to enhance security and productivity because first thing, when you're using as a business account connecting to a web portal, which is actually owned by, or rather signed up by a business, there's no need to actually use a staff personal messaging accounts anymore to do the chatting. There's no privacy intrusion per se. The broadcast can even have the same message that cut across the different apps in the same broadcast session. And in fact, you can even have all your different, multiple departments having different roles and having all the users in these departments all in a standalone portal to actually manage the conversations. So then, of course, the third point is that, having ASP 2.0, it helps you to actually provide a very interactive kind of rich conversations with your customers because you can exchange text, you can have visual content to improve the two-way communications. And these communications are actually stay in the account with the business and it can be accessible by all your staff who has the account and it's available anytime, anywhere. Yeah, so this is the benefits. And I think the last slide from me will be basically, I would like to highlight some kind of possible use cases. It may not be limited to all this, but these are just some of the probably the common use cases that people will approach us asking about ASP 2.0. So I think first thing, you can see that there are so many different channels that can be connected to this portal. So basically, you can actually also use it as like a social media, like a DM managing all your different social chats. So that's one way of using a social media management tool. You can also use it as a customer help desk support to actually better, service your customers. Then, of course, you can also send transactional-based notifications like, sales order, payment custom confirmations, your loyalty points update, etc. Or you can actually use it for appointment scheduling and reminders to your customers, to reduce any no-show rates to your stores. Then, of course, you can also send, mission critical notifications, such as, probably about some dispatch schedules of your goods for delivery to your customers, or some, incident alerts, for example, or maybe queue numbers, OTPs, for remote access. So there are possible use cases of such. And then, of course, another way of using ASP 2.0 to collect customer feedback, to actually, probably measure your customer satisfaction level. And of course, lastly, you can definitely use it as a marketing tool to send e-vouchers, e-coupons to help increase your business revenue. Yeah. So I think I believe with all this sharing, it will actually give you some valuable insights into how ASP 2.0 will help to transform your communication strategies to actually elevate your customer engagement. So I think I see Andy nudging me to look at a question that's coming up. Any plans to support RCS business messaging as a channel? If yes, what will be the pricing? Okay. This will be something that is that so long as it's available, we will definitely look into integrating into our solution as a portfolio. But currently it is still work in progress. So I cannot give you a definite answer for that in which particular model of our solutions that this channel, if it is available, would be in. Yeah, but if it's available in Singapore market, then definitely is something that we will be looking into and putting into as part of our system.
Okay, yeah, so that's it. With that, we do have one question coming in, or not yet? Okay, no question. Okay, that's it. No more questions, no more chat. Thank you all so much for joining us for this session. Look forward to you joining us next year. But with that, we just thank you again. I hope you have a very good year for this year. We look forward to a new year very soon, and Merry Christmas to everyone. Okay, with that, bye-bye. Thank you.